Another game, another win. 7 wins in a row for Manchester United under Erik ten Hag. 5 games in a row where Marcus Rashford has scored. He was the difference maker tonight, and it wasn't exactly the best performance you're ever going to see for Manchester United. I think that's a game where Erik ten Hag's going to be in the training ground at Carrington, running through a lot of what United got wrong in that game. But ultimately, 3-1, the first goal we've conceded at Old Trafford since we beat Arsenal. We made harder work of it than we should have done. Having gone 1-0 up within 5 minutes, that was a game there that we should have won 4-5-0. Everton were up at 6, they were lost after that point. And I've absolutely not, honestly, what was going through David De Gea's mind for that mistake in the first half? Ultimately, it didn't cost United anything. It cost United the tempo of the game. It shouldn't have been a game that turned out like it did, but it doesn't matter. We won 3-1, and as I said, Marcus Rashford right now, he's unstoppable. He's absolutely unplayable. Involved in every single one of the goals. A fantastic run and move from United on the counter-attack. Antony knocking it in at the back post. I will speak about Antony in a little bit, but I'm focusing on Rashford to begin this match reaction. The second goal, just wonderful play to see Marcus Rashford running at his man with the level of confidence that he's got at the moment. He's unstoppable. When he does that properly, he really is unstoppable, unplayable, and he got the goal that his performance deserved at the end. Garnacho with a good run, composed, stuttering. I hate stuttered penalties, but anyway, it's a great finish from Marcus Rashford. That celebration is going to become iconic soon. And Everton, he had their whole team on toast. Whether it was who was it, Decore, whether it was Godfrey jumping in. Everton were trying everything that they possibly could to try and get into Rashford's head, to try and knock him off his stride, to try and knock him off his momentum, but they couldn't do anything. They could not stop Marcus Rashford, and to see him playing like he is playing now is just such a wonderful thing as a United fan, man. He's had a tough 18 months. How he's playing now is, I think, how we all thought he was going to play after he had that shoulder surgery. But then he kind of disappeared into himself that season. And me looking at Marcus Rashford now and the way that he's blossoming under Erik ten Hag, I just look at Jadon Sancho and say, you know what? I hope that we can see the same thing from Jadon Sancho when he comes back into the team. But Marcus Rashford right now, and he needs to be. Look, Antony, we need to speak about Antony because I personally feel that the criticism aimed towards him is kind of a bit over the top. I think if Antony cost £40 million, nobody would be even questioning his start at Manchester United. I think he's got 4 goals in 9 starts at Man United so far. And he scored in his debut. Wonderful goal that was against Arsenal. I think, look, we all know full well that he's not good enough on his right foot. You know, in the same way that Erik ten Hag has taken Jadon Sancho out of the limelight, given him 8 weeks on an individual training plan, because that's what he needed to do. Antony's going to have to go into that training ground. He's got to work on that right foot. He's making himself too predictable. We know he's going to cut inside. It makes it all too easy to defend. You don't even have to cover him on the overlap because you know full well he's not going to go down that side. But Antony with a goal there tonight, and he showed a bit more of the Brazilian swagger and the samba football in that second half. He just needs to be able to take his man on in the same way that this man right now is just taking everybody on and making them all look silly. A direct winger is one of the most dangerous things you can have in football. And when they get it right, you can't do anything to stop them. So Antony's got to work on that. But he got a goal there tonight. I hope that's going to build some confidence into him. As I said, I think with Antony, nobody would even be questioning him if his price was 40 million. It's because of the price being 85 million, the expectations that immediately come with that. You expect a player who's 85 million to be scoring or assisting pretty much every game, to be affecting every single game. Today he did. But look, Erik ten Hag, as I said, I think he's taken a lot of notes from that game. And I have to say, if I'm going to have any concerns about any player in our attacking line right now, I'm going to have more concerns about Anthony Martial than I'm going to have about Antony. Anthony Martial, again tonight, couple of really big chances. A decent enough save from Pickford. But in the last 3 games, he's just not been there. His head wasn't there at all against Wolves. Bournemouth, no, it just wasn't there either. And tonight, Martial is a yard short. He needs a couple of... I don't know what he needs, I'll be honest. It's just all up to him. He's got to make it happen because we need him firing. We need Martial firing. If we're going to sign someone in January, it's going to be someone like Memphis Depay or Choupo-Moting, or it's just going to be a stopgap signing. It's not going to be a signing that moves the needle too much. It's going to be a player who comes in and probably scores a few goals for United, but gives us an extra option. Martial, if I'm Erik ten Hag, he trusts Martial. And because of what we saw in the preseason with Martial, Sancho and Rashford and them playing so good together, he knows that he's got it there. He's just not there. And we are so, right now, heavily dependent on Marcus Rashford changing and influencing the game going forward. It's going to become unstuck at some point because Rashford's current form is unsustainable across the course of the season. 5 goals in 5 games. Fingers crossed he can make it 8 from 8 and he can score against Charlton City and Arsenal. Yes, please. But yeah, Antony Martial, if I'm going to have any concerns about any of our attackers, I'll probably have it about Antony Martial instead. But just to go back there, and honestly, what was De Gea thinking? Honestly, answers on a postcard. Please let me know in the comments because I have no idea. For a man who's so confident with his feet in goal, what was he doing? He's near post. It's like, I just don't think he was concentrating. I think he was just totally switched off to what was going on. And it was a comedy of errors, really. And I'm annoyed that United let that... We should have, from this point on, when Antony scored, 1-0 up within 5 minutes at Old Trafford against it, but was sacked in the morning. Hopefully, I think that when we played Everton at Goodison Park on the Moyes, and Moyes got sacked after, I imagine that's probably going to be the same thing with Frank Lampard there. Or maybe he's already sacked by the time I've even finished his match reaction. But Man United should have just dominated that. That goal there and that mistake from De Gea let Everton back into that game, and they just didn't need to be let into that game. It wasn't a game that needed to be like that. And we nearly fucking conceded the second goal there as well. We needed more composure. Now, this is why so many people criticise Bruno Fernandes, and I think tonight was not his best performance. And I'll criticise him when he deserves it. I just think a lot of you go over the top with the criticism of Bruno. But after getting that yellow card early doors, it took Bruno's ability to be aggressive away from him, and he was too quick too often in that game, and it was coming back. I'll tell you who was really good in that second half when he came on was Fred. I thought Fred made a real difference in there, and pretty much every cameo appearance from Fred in the last few weeks have been very good. Fred is helping see out the last 20-25 minutes of games at this particular moment in time, and yeah, big up to VAR, by the way. Oh, yeah, that was definitely offside, by the way. It was definitely offside. But if I'm Erik ten Hag, I'm taking the massive positive of that being 5 wins from 5 since returning. Beating Burnley in the League Cup, 3 Premier League wins against Forest, Wolves and Bournemouth, and then going and beating Everton at Old Trafford. As I said, first goal we've conceded at Old Trafford since Arsenal in November. 5 wins from 5, 7 wins in a row in all competitions. United, look at this. Our last 17 games in all competitions. Played 17, won 14. Drawn 2 and only lost 1. That is extremely impressive. What Erik ten Hag is doing with this team is extremely impressive. And that wasn't a game where Man United played incredibly well and controlled the match. Although we should have. And I think that's probably the main thing that Ten Hag's going to be angry about. He keeps talking about energy. And how, look, if you're 2-0 up, you don't need to expend energy. And instead of that being a game where we probably could have snuck it into second gear and just cruised through it at 2-0, 3-0. Yeah, it's fine. We made it difficult for ourselves. That's about game management. It's about smarter play and about getting that killer instinct. And that's what I mean. Martial, man, find your goal scoring shoes because we need boots, whatever you're wearing. Start scoring goals. We need goals from Martial. Antony, I'm not as worried as some people seem to be about his form. As I said, I think if his price was different, you wouldn't really be criticising him as much. And I can't hold that price against him. United way overpaid. We probably paid double what he's worth because we're idiots. Yeah, and that's what it is. But how good is this lad right now? Marcus Rashford, man, keep this up. 5 in 5. Goals for him. Wins for United. It's not our best performance since we come back from the World Cup, but the result is what matters there. And now we go into Charlton on Tuesday, and then we've got City and Arsenal. Hopefully we can beat Charlton and head into that game there against City with 6 wins in a row. That's momentum. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But yeah, through to the 4th round. I'll take that. And Marcus Rashford, absolutely unplayable right now.